Well, the question is whether this has been an embarrassing flip-flop by the government of India. Joining us on our panel tonight, we have Sanjay Jha, spokesperson of the Congress Party, GVL Rao of the BJP. Also with us, Ambassador KC Singh, former diplomats, Arun Bhagat, former director of the IB, and Praveen Swami, strategic affairs editor of the Indian Express. I'll take that question to Sanjay Jha first. Sanjay, the government, you think, has tied itself up in knots over this question in the span of a few hours, very different statements being made on Dawood.
Anidhi, very confusing signals, and it's particularly worrying because Rajnath Singh had made a statement 4 or 5 months ago where nobody needs to be specific about Dawood Ibrahim's location, but he had broadly stated that he was being protected by the Pakistani establishment along the Pakistan-Afghanistan border. So the stand taken on the parliament today was definitely a huge surprise. The truth is, and I don't want to get into a political witch hunt against the BJP, the truth is that I remember an interview that was given on NDTV by General Pervez Musharraf to Barkha, where he categorically stated that Dawood Ibrahim is held in very high esteem by the people of Pakistan because they felt that he was retaliating against communal violence that happened in India. So there are challenges. I don't think we can deny that. Like Hafiz Saeed roams around free despite a US bounty of $10 million on his head. And we all know it. United States knows it. And yet, the provocative speeches against India continue. So for the government to demonstrate a flip-flop today was, I think, unnerving. And I think it's very appropriate that they have had to take their statement back.
All right, Ambassador KC Singh, how do you see this after years of, India saying that it has given dossiers to Pakistan, after saying that, he lives in Clifton, Karachi, and that he has been protected by the Pakistani establishment. For the government to take this stand in Parliament today, do you think it was a mistake? Or it was, some other kind of an error, and then the U-turn that came later? I don't think all of this reflects very well, does it?
Well, there are 2-3 points. Firstly, having answered many parliament questions, to me it looked like they've just tied themselves up in language. When they're saying he's not located, what they mean is he's not been apprehended. We would never, if we've answered questions from MEA, you should never get into his location. You basically say there's a red corner notice, and it is incumbent on whichever country which cites him to grab him. So you say that he has not been apprehended. So I think they've just given a wrong answer. Second thing is, it is possible, particularly after UN listed him and the Americans have been after him, that he has gone below the radar. You would know also about Osama bin Laden, he was not constantly on the American radar. So there have been reports that he was no longer in Karachi and may have changed his identity. Pakistanis have been switching his passports, etc. In the period that I was in Dubai, in UAE, from 1999 to 2003, you would remember in 2003, I sent his brother back. Iqbal Kaskar was sent back. I was categorically told by Emirati authorities that they had told Dawood that if he transits through their airports, which was at that stage Dubai mainly, they would grab him, which meant they would hand him over to Indians. Then there were reports he used to go to Saudi Arabia. Now, a couple of years ago, even the Saudis handed us some terrorists. So it's possible that he's undergone some massive change of identity, change of plastic surgery or whatever it is. But still, for us to concede that we have him go off completely off the radar is, I think, helplessness.
So are you saying in a sense that it was a badly drafted reply more than anything else?
It could be that. It could be that. But in combination with this person having gone below the radar screen, but then for a party which came in saying we are going to grab him and do an Osama bin Laden, implying an Osama bin Laden on him, now to say that we don't know where he is, I think they've just got themselves into a mess.
Praveen Swami, as someone who has reported on this extensively for years, how do you then look at the government's different positions on this today? And do you think it was also badly drafted, or there's more to it?
Maybe a couple of things. I mean, first up, I don't understand what this coyness about Dawood Ibrahim's address actually is. It's listed in the United Nations Sanction Committee reports which are available online. And the last version, the last iteration, I think lists 4 addresses all in Karachi and 2 passport numbers. Now, I assume the government knows this, and if the government thinks this information is incorrect, then it ought to be telling the United Nations and Interpol that rather than saying things in Parliament. The second thing is, I agree with Ambassador Singh. This statement is actually pretty much a carbon copy of a statement made in May last year. It looks like, bureaucrats have been shuffling around some piece of paper without being cognizant of the language. or being cognizant of what is said outside Parliament. The third thing, though, is I think that for this government, as for the last one, it would be very convenient if Dawood Ibrahim were to be untraceable, because it would save everyone the trouble of doing something about him. The last government had, you will recall, Sushil Kumar Shinde saying all kinds of brave things about the Americans taking him out. We've heard politicians in this government bragging for political gain about doing something about him. So if we can't find where he is, then it's just fine and dandy and convenient for everyone, because the truth is, as Ambassador Singh said, that Pakistan isn't going to be handing him over to anyone in a hurry.
So let me ask Mr. Arun Bhagat, as someone who's been head of the Intelligence Bureau, Mr. Bhagat, what is your take on this? There are two parts to this story. One is how the government has framed, its statements today. The other is on the genuine question of where Dawood is and whether India would ever be able to track him down. You think we've lost him?
Well, I think as far as the reply is concerned, one is a little intrigued. So one can only make a surmise or speculate. And I think what Ambassador Singh has said and what Praveen has said is generally correct. Maybe it is a mistake which has taken place, because certainly we know he is in Pakistan. Now it may be true technically government doesn't know where exactly in Pakistan he is at the present moment or at the time when this answer was given in Parliament. But even if that is the case, they should have clarified that, look, he is in Pakistan, we know he is in Pakistan, he is being protected by Pakistan, not now, but for decades he has been is being protected, and ISI is the one which is still handling him and holding him. So that would have clarified matters in a better way.
So I think what you're saying, all of you are saying one thing, and I'll take that to the BJP's GVL Rao, that Mr. Rao, from Mr. Arun Bhagat, from Ambassador Singh to Praveen Swami, and this is the non-political part of the panel here. Everyone saying that the way the statement was drafted today, that is the problem. And there is a clear contradiction between what the government has said in Parliament and then what Mr. Kiren Rijiju has said later in the evening. What is the final position then? Would you concede that this has been badly handled?
No, I don't think so. The Minister of Home, replying to a question in Lok Sabha, has placed the factual position in his reply to Lok Sabha. I think the statement made to the Parliament, statement made in Lok Sabha, is the factual position as far as the matter is concerned. Whether any more details can be added to by someone else in the ministry or in the government is something that you can possibly take note of. But the factual position is reflected by the statement on the floor of House.
No, but what the factual position is that the subject has not been located so far. After years of the government of India saying that we know that the subject is generally in Pakistan, we've asked for his extradition from Pakistan, we've sent dossiers to Pakistan. The government didn't feel the need to place that factual position in the Home Ministry statement on the floor of the House?
The government has not been able to locate him so far. That so far is something that is subject to interpretation. It does not mean so far does not relate to the past 20 years that he has been absconding from India or longer. I think this relates to the recent period. He had not been located recently about his exact whereabouts, and that's the factual position.